Hello everyone and welcome to another high elo game of Age of Empires. Today we find ourselves listening to Pink Floyd as we stand atop the walls of Fortress in anticipation of a clash between HGB playing as the red Bulgarians and Darknoob playing as the blue Malay. Now this is the Fortress map. Everyone starts with 10 villagers, a number of farms and infrastructure, and as you can see, a castle. Now as the players explore their immediate surroundings, herd their herdables, and try to go up to feudal as fast as possible, let's take a look at the respective civ matchup we'll be watching today. The Bulgarians are what I would call a cost-cutting civilization. Their militia line upgrades are free, their blacksmith upgrades cost less food, their siege workshop upgrades also cost less food, their blacksmiths work almost twice as fast as normal, and their town centers cost less stone. Now this is actually fantastic for the Bulgarians because they can focus their stone expenditure on their unique structure, the Krepost. Now think of the Krepost as a mini castle that's similar to yesterday's stream's donjon, except that it's more expensive, but because of that it comes with more HP and a higher attack and more armor. It also actually provides 20 population room, which the donjon does not, and it can be built only starting in castle, not in feudal as the donjon. Now, once you, as the Bulgarian player, have saved all these resources, you can invest them in building a pretty strong Bulgarian army. Even though the Bulgarians don't get champions, they can upgrade their two-handed swordsmen to get +5 melee armor. And they can Japanese their cavalry by upgrading them to attack 33% faster, which is amazing when you take into account the fact that the unique unit of the Bulgarians is the Conic. Now think of the Conic as a 2-for-1 unit that starts out as a tanky, powerful, flail-wielding cavalry that transforms into a less tanky, still powerful infantry when it dies. Now opposing the Bulgarians, we have the Malay civilization. This is a naval civ whose late-game land bonuses are incredibly powerful. Their battle elephants become 30% cheaper in castle, 40% cheaper in imperial, and they can upgrade their militia line to cost no gold, only food, which together with the supplies upgrade actually turns their two-handed swordsmen into very powerful, cheap trash units that only cost 65 gold. Now, the Malay unique unit is one of my favorites, the Karambit warrior, a super fast, super cheap, but overall kind of weak infantry unit that's perfect for raiding because each one costs, or rather takes up, only half a population space. So, pro tip, if you are going to go Karambits, always mass them. Never send in 5, 6, 7 at a time. They are super weak, but for example, if you do build 50 of them, they will only take 25 supply. Now, in order to help the Malay players get these upgrades and get up to castle and imperial as fast as possible, one of their civ bonuses is that they actually advance to the next age 66% faster than average. So that means you do not have to worry as a Malay player about rushing up to the next age, or if your opponent has already gone up to the next stage, don't worry too much because you can catch up very, very quickly. So overall, essentially, what we're looking at today is what I'm going to call the battle of the 2-for-1 civilizations. The Bulgarians with their unique unit that's literally 2 units in one, against the Malay whose unique unit is literally half a unit, so therefore you need 2 of them to count for 1 unit. I am very excited. I don't know about you. I also love Fortress for many reasons, one of which is these towers. So everyone, as you saw, starts in an enclosed off base, but there's always 1 or 2 towers that's placed in the most ridiculous places like this. So the ridiculous tower placement award goes to HGB with this tower over here. Our Malay players' towers, I mean, this one's partly blocking this gate, but his towers are very much in the front and the sides, whereas our sorry, that's going to be a tongue twister. Our Bulgarian players' towers are, 2 of them are in the back, one of which is completely useless, one to the side and another to the side. So no towers facing the front. These must be completely random placements. And let's take a look. Our Malay player, take a look at the bottom left of your screen, how fast he's going up to the next stage. Like I said, 66% faster. So at 8 minutes, he's already beaten our Bulgarian player despite having only 1 more villager than him. So yeah, that's basically Fortress. Let's take a look at the map itself. Apologies as always to anyone on a smaller screen. Fairly flat. surface, we've got one hill in the center, one hill kind of off to the north, and another hill. I mean, this is not great for our Malay player. One of the current metas for Bulgarians, if not the predominant meta, is doing Krepos rushes. And so if you've got any high ground around your base, that is a juicy spot for your opponent to put their Kreposts on. So not that a Krepos here would reach the base, but never mind. Not never mind, but something to think about for HGB. Let's take a look at what the players have scouted of each other. Darknoob has seen literally nothing. He's seen the southern portion of the map, basically arid desert. There's not even a relic here except to the side. Let's see if his scout cavalry does find the relic. Looks like he will. Okay, good for him. HGB, on the other hand, he scouted a lot more of the map, plus he's located exactly where his opponent is. So advantage here to HGB, and let's see if he follows, like I said, the standard meta. He is going up to Castle, but look at our Malay player in Castle, literally 2 minutes ahead of our red Bulgarian. But the question is, what will he do once he's in Castle? For now, he's getting farm upgrades, no military upgrades for either player. Economic upgrade advantage goes very much in favor of Malay, who will now be 2 upgrades ahead to the 1 of our red Bulgarian. I see a villager with a hammer in his hand, and I see a red dot with a circle, or rather a shadow around it on the minimap. Okay, so he's building his first outpost out onto the map. Not before he's attacked by a lion. Lion pays the price for its, I guess, courage in this case. It's not exactly a cowardly lion. 4 villagers now coming forward. These 2 have baskets in their hands, which, okay, have now turned into hammers. So they are going to build. Like I said, Bulgarian meta is very much a Krepost build, but both players are in Castle now, so... well, rather, not both players are in Castle. Our Bulgarian player still hasn't reached Castle. What an incredible time advantage. Like I said, the whole point of Malay... maybe I shouldn't say the whole point, but a very, very strong reason to play the Malay is to get up to Castle and Imperial ASAP, so that you have access to those cheaper elephants. You have access to Karambit warriors. Their other units are not terrible either. Where are these villagers going? They're going to skirt around the ring of death of this one tower. And behind this, while we wait for those villagers to construct what I'm sure is going to be a Krepost or maybe another outpost, let's take a look at the civs themselves, the players. 3 town centers here for our blue Malay, up to 38 villagers. Our red Bulgarian sitting at 28 villagers and only 1 town center. He is sitting on a shit ton of stone, though. 800. I wonder what that's for. Krepos, I believe, do cost 350 stone. And there we go. There's our first Krepos. Immediately discovered by blue. Immediately coming under attack. How will blue react? Let's wait and find out. For now, we've got a scout cavalry, a spearman to the north, protecting against any kind of attack or any kind of resistance from blue. Not that blue has an army to resist with. He's got 1 Karambit warrior here, double fisting these blades and trying to take down this outpost structure. That will happen, but there's another outpost just to the north, and now more villagers. And our first conic is out onto the map. Take a look at that attack, a base of 12, very powerful melee base of 2. 100 HP, has not researched bloodlines yet, has HGB. I mean, this villager is very, very risky movement here for that villager. And now the Krepos, like I said, they attack basically on the same as a castle, the same number of arrows, but I think they attack on 1 less. I think it's a 10 instead of an 11, yeah. 10, 11, yeah. So it's basically a mini castle at this point, 2600 HP. Now the villagers are swerving back to the north of the base. They're hanging out. He's got 600 stone. Will he build another Krepost? Our blue Malay is starting to wall off, creating secondary walls on the outside of his town. Another Krepost going down in... This must be in plain sight. No, he does not see it. Okay, there's what's being built here, a palisade wall. Maybe the villager, when it comes to build this palisade wall, should be able to see that Krepos. This he definitely will see. No, Oh my god. Okay, so Darknoob is going to discover very, very soon that he is being surrounded and ringed by Kreposts. He is nowhere close to Imperial. Do we see a siege workshop coming out of him? We do not. Okay, so Darknoob cool as a cucumber. Continuing to expand his civilian population, going up to 69 villagers for all you pervy memesters out there, to the 40 of our Bulgarian. Oh my god, I told you that was going to be a tongue twister for me. I don't know why words that start with the letter B, like a few casts ago when I couldn't pronounce bloody blood bath. For some reason, the B and the L sounds always make me stutter, but in any event, our Bulgarian player is falling way behind in terms of economy. He is relying significantly on these Kreposts. That being said, Darknoob is going up to 500 food, 300 gold. I mean, 7 on gold is not going to get him to Imperial anytime soon unless he uses the market to balance out his economy. Okay, third Krepos does not go up. The villager gets zoned out by a monk. Maybe let the monk convert the villager and then attack the monk with the conic. Oh, no, never mind. He's got the scout cavalry that's going to 1, 2, 3 shot. Okay, I love it. A gate being built by blue to stop red from being able to construct, but red wisely built a house to the north of his Krepost so that he could, I guess he anticipated exactly this situation happening of him being blocked off from constructing his own structures, and now there's a gap. There's a gap in blue's base, but what does red have to seize the gap? Third town center finally going down for our red Bulgarian player, but he is sitting on no army. He's got one conic, which has now tethered itself to very slow units. Oh, look at that. Look at that flail. I love it. What would you call this? A mace? A morning star? In any event, it's very cool. Red has an incredible vision. Let's take a look at Red's vision of blue's map. This is what Red sees. Look, a fourth Krepos going down. So he is looking to suffocate our blue player, who is, by the way, 30 seconds from being an Imperial. At the 21-minute mark of the game. And I guess he'll reach Imperial at the 22, but still. Neither player having any kind of military to speak of. I hope that we're building up to a giant clash here. Because that's what you like to see. That's what I love to see. Does he have an interior wood line? He does have an interior wood line, so he's okay for wood for now. I mean, this isn't a lot of wood. Sorry for the zooming. What is this? 3,400 wood here. That's not that much. And once that goes, all of his wood lines, with the exception of this one, are at jeopardy. So blue has to come up with an answer to these Krepos. His answer is an immediate trebuchet. And now it's up to Red to respond. Red has built his infrastructure. He's planted his flag. He said, I'm here with 1, 2, 3, 4 freaking Kreposts that are attacking 2 of your 3 town centers. And blue responds with, well, haha, I'm just going to build trebs. Because even though there's a gap in my wall here, you don't have a military to enter my base. And if you did enter my base with whatever the hell, ragtag army you have now, this castle is going to destroy them. So now blue is setting the pace from a defensive position. And the question is, how will red react? Okay, he's reacting by using his villagers to attack the wall here. He's literally 1 stone away from having enough to build another Krepos, which is great because this one just died. And with its death, we now usher in a new era of prosperity for blue because he now has a fresh stone mine and a fresh gold mine to harvest. This wall off is not going to happen anytime soon with that one spearman tickling away at the HP of the villager. And now he's inside the base, but he's inside the base with 1 conic against 2 priests, 2 conics against 2 priests. And ladies and gentlemen, we have our first Malay conic, who immediately turns on his former friends and starts bashing their brains in with his morning star. And yeah, I don't know if you saw the animation. Maybe I didn't look at it quickly enough, but when our red Conic died here, it turned into an infantry unit. Okay, 4th town center going down. I love this location. Right next to the stone, right next to the wood. Lots of space for farms here. But behind this, what is red building? Am I missing something? I mean, I see a blacksmith. I see a barracks. Red has no production facilities. He's essentially relying on his conics and on his creposts. That being said, what does blue have? Okay, blue has 2 trebs, a 2nd castle being built, a barracks, and he's got a bunch of monks. How many monks is he sitting at? 2 monks now. And of course, the 1 deserter conic who's, you know, changed teams basically. Red. What a cheeky move here by building his own somewhat. Let's see the monk. Nope, you can't go out that way. Okay, now the monk's attacking / converting villagers. And red, I think, has to retreat here. I mean, he tried to choke out blue, but blue just would not submit. Oh no, loses a monk, but gains a scout cavalry. Not exactly a fair trade. And where the red unit's going to disappear. Okay, Krepos in the middle of the map. Like I said, these hills are going to be key. It's not yesterday's video with the Tatars, but still 25% attack bonus is nothing to be scoffed at. But I'm really worried here for our red player. He's got no military production, even though he's finally managed to somewhat catch up in villager count. 105 to 118, not the worst of deficits. But once blue finishes clearing out these structures, I mean, he's going to look to exert himself onto the map. He does not have any production facilities himself either beyond the blacksmith and the barracks. So I don't know what either of these players is doing, really. I don't see buildings being built. Okay, finally, a a stable. I was going to say cavalry house, as if it's some kind of pub. And now let's watch this high speed / slow speed chase. This scout should not be tethered to that conic. He can escape much easier on his own. And now these conics are going home. We're going up to 6 conics for our Bulgarian player. 8 actually. And let's see. Oh my god, another town center going down. I like this location too. I love this wall off, but he's got to realize that he's got to wall off that part too. Let's see if he's seen this part. Yeah, he's seen it. So he should wall that off pretty quickly. 4th town center going down. So like I said, this is an economic bonanza having retaken this portion of the map. You get so much lumber. You have so much space for farms, plus gold, plus stone. And finally, our Bulgarian player is heading up to Imperial, finally getting all the cavalry upgrades, husbandry, light cavalry, building more and more stables. So let's see some big clashes here. Oh yeah, here we go. Karambits on their way to cause a ruckus. 23 is a good number. I don't know that you could necessarily take on, you know, conics, monks, knights, and a Krepos with this. Take a look at their stats. Like I said, weak as shit. Elite attacks on an 8. I think the base attacks on a 7. But look at that HP. 50 HP. 40 HP, rather. But doesn't matter. I mean, he's going up to 38 of them. Look at the army supply. 45 to 19. And by the way, you know that 45 doesn't mean 45 units. Because each one of these counts for half a unit. So these 34 are actually only 17 supply room. And now our blue Malay Darknoob says, I've withstood your attack. I'm going to leave this 1/2 completed wall. Now it's my turn. And let's see how you do against my civilization. These stables are incredibly at risk here. I mean, HGB knew that his opponent had 4 trebs, right? Or 3 trebs. He has now supply blocked HGB, although he is going up to Cavalier. Oh, I hope none of these are researching Cavalier. Okay, wisely researches it in the back so that it doesn't get gunned down. And here come the swarms of Karambits. Oh, you love to see them. Like I said, they're super weak. Look how slow this building is dying compared to other infantry units. But my god, what is this? 51 Karambits. He's going up to 85 though. Okay, his plan is just to swarm. Look at the mini map. Look at this parade push of Karambits across the map. You love to see it. I mean, they're fantastic with their double fisting. What is going on here? A little colony here, a little colony in the back. You know, our Bulgarian player took a little chunk of the map that came with some gold and lots of room for farms, but no stone. Good amount of wood in the back. This is incredibly safe. But let's forget about wood clumps. Let's take a look at these Karambits. So take a look at the top of your screen. You see how Darknoob has 137 villagers and 99 military? This is the power of the Karambits. This is not 241 supply population, right? This is 200 by virtue of these swarmy units only counting as half. And now he sends a bunch of them to the side, but they will get gunned down by these towers and a kind of fully garrisoned town center. What are their upgrades at the moment? 5 pierce armor is not terrible, but yeah, look how quickly these cavaliers are going to just eat through these Karambits. Yeah, this is why I said don't send 7 or 8. Okay, Darknoob wisely mixing in some halberdiers, seeing that his opponent has gone cavalry, or maybe anticipating that his opponent will go cavalry. Villager count identical. Our blue Malay getting archer upgrades, chemistry, bracer. Okay, infantry upgrades going down for our Bulgarian player, although he is now sitting on 25 cavaliers. That's a good amount. I would say without these halberdiers causing a ruckus, oh, look at them just swarming in. Oh, they're so beautiful to watch. It's like watching a flock of birds, you know, in the sky when they're all synchronized. You have like 10,000 birds changing direction at the same time. But as I was not looking, HGB has entered the base of our blue Malay player with a huge chunk of cavalry. What is this here? 11 units here. Oh god, 11 units there. But these Karambits are just going to swarm over. This is the time when Red needs to consolidate all of these units into one ball and fight the Karambits head on, because he can't keep taking these fights where he just attacks 1 or 2. And here's the dismounted Conic flailing with his flail, and here he goes again, and he pays the price. So it's a 2-for-1 unit. Oh my god, look at this. I mean, you can be the much stronger unit, but when you've got 7 or 8 of them surrounding you with 2 swords, you've got 14, 16 swords on the attack. I'm going to put an in-game screen to show exactly how he managed to penetrate Blue's base. Although I suspect, okay, no, never mind. This, he repaired this part. And now Red tries to get in again, but whatever gap he found, whatever hole he managed to insert himself into, Blue has now tightened up. Oh no, though. Blue is going to lose these trebs if Red decides to, you know, focus them down. Gets 3 of the 4. No. Are you going to attack it or what? Okay, gets the 4th, but at a heavy, heavy cost. Loses 5 or 6 of his cavaliers to these arbalests, which were wisely left behind by our blue Malay. Yeah, these are not Karambits. These are halbs. They're going to shred through the cavaliers. And now blue is on the offensive. What do we have here? 58 Karambits. Just look at them. Sorry. I mean, you know, some casters, they focus on certain things. I love the way this game is designed. Okay, we've got two-handed swordsmen here. They do not have the upgrade that gives them extra armor. I believe that upgrade is called the Bilbo Baggins upgrade. Don't ask me why. And now they're gonna shred this town center. Look at it. Look at the HP on the town center. Oh my god. They are so weak. They attack on a 12, which is, by the way, the base attack of the Conic. So that shows you how weak they are. Okay, tethered themselves to some halbs. And now he's at 132 army supply to 16. I don't know what our red player is going to do here. He is being just swarmed over by these Karambits. Karambit. My God. What a blue swarm. I don't even know why he's retreating. Honestly, look at his resources. He's building 4 Trebs, 24 pike, halb, 3 Karambits, but he's still got 700 food, 700 wood. He is everywhere. 2 town centers go down under the might of the Karambit swarm. Halberdiers trying to take down a barracks. That's not going to happen anytime soon. Could have used murder holes. You have 400 stone. And here comes what looks like the last charge of our Bulgarian player's army. Okay, never mind. Never mind. No Bilbo Baggins upgrade just yet. He wanted to, I guess, lure out these halbs. And now he's going to the south, but oh my God, the movement here by Darknoob of his halbs is just brilliant. I mean, not that he really needs to micro that well. Look at the army supply. Look at the army supply difference here. But Red is trying everything he can to outmaneuver Blue, but Blue is not giving him an inch. Red is wisely deleting his own walls. There's a castle to the east defending the back of the Trebs. There's halberdiers. There's a wood line here that cannot be penetrated by the Cavaliers, who run headfirst into another reinforcing army of Blue Malay and just die. Oh, just the blood-soaked sands of Fortress Arabia, wherever this map takes place. My God, was that a clinic in Malay? That being said, where was his production? I don't know if building his stables right here in front, when you know your opponent is about to headbutt you. You know, I'm thinking of the Zinedine Zidane headbutt, the famous headbutt. That's exactly what HGB should have anticipated. A direct head to the chest. I don't know why he built the stables here. Probably would have been better served building them around the corners, or at least inside the base. Look how much room he had here. I like this side expansion. Let's take a look at the numbers. I mean, look at the supplies. 140 population to maxed out. 202 Karambits built, 55 Cavaliers. You know, in certain circumstances, I mean, agree, disagree with me, tell me what you think. Could 55 fully upgraded Bulgarian Cavaliers with the 33, remember how I said in the beginning, they can, quote-unquote, Japanese their Cavaliers by increasing their attack 33%, which makes a huge difference. I didn't see that upgrade being researched. I don't think he had the resources for it. But tell me what you think. Do you think 55 Bulgarian Cavaliers with that upgrade could beat 200 Karambits? I don't know who to give that fight to, honestly. Because when these Karambits can surround you, you know, 6, 7, 8 of them to one Cavalier, it's different than when it's only a 4-to-1 ratio, right? I mean, look at their armor, only a 4 against an attack of 16. So in any event, a hypothetical question to wonder. Maybe I can send a comment to one of the other YouTube channels that does the name escapes me right now. They do all the hypothetical scenarios of, like, you know, fully upgraded Frankish paladins versus all the unique units, etc. In any event, peak APM goes to our red Bulgarian at 144. Darknoob playing a much more relaxed game, I guess. Didn't really need to micro his ass off. Just needed to get to Imperial, which, as I said, with the Malay, I don't know that the Krepos rush was really the best. You know your opponent is going to get to Imperial and Trebs 66% faster than you. And let's take a look at kill count. Okay, our Bulgarian has killed more just by virtue of the Malay army being, you know, I don't want to call it a trash army, because these Karambits, I don't know if they would technically be qualified as trash, but let's say trash adjacent army of the Malay. Our Malay player has killed 188 units, 69 villagers, again, for all you pervy memers out there. Our Bulgarian player has killed 33. So overall, I think the strategy of the Krepost, you know, it may have worked if he had focused on one location, right? I mean, tell me what you think. But first he built one to the east, then he built one to the north, then he built 2 in the west, here and here. Then he entered the base. Would he have been better served just picking one direction, maybe this southern part, and just inserting himself in through here? I don't know. What I do know is that his attempt to surround and ring in our blue Malay player did not work. Our blue, oh my god, our blue Malay player, Darknoob, put the pedal to the metal, turned on warp speed, got to Imperial so much faster than our red Bulgarian, got out these bad boys, and at that point, the second you have these and your opponent is still in castle, I guess it's GG at that point, right? It's only a matter of time unless your opponent pulls off some miracle, catches up. At one point, he was caught up in villager count, and actually, these villager counts are identical. 118 to 119 is basically identical. But look at the military counts. He's sitting at almost 6 times the military count. And our Bulgarian player, I think, is missing the 2 bonus upgrades that the Civ gets. These do not have the +5 armor, which, believe me, would have helped against a unit that attacks on a 12. With a +5 armor, he'd have, what, 8 armor? So you take 4 damage for each one of these Karambits. Meanwhile, the Karambit's sitting on a 4. These guys attack on a 16. So they would be dealing 12 damage to them. So look at that. That's a massive difference. He also didn't upgrade his horses, I don't think, to get them that extra 33% Japanese attack bonus. So overall, HGB tried to choke out our blue Malay Darknoob. Our blue Malay Darknoob decided, you know what, let build as many Krepos as you want. I know that comes at the expense of building an army. And so I know even if you make a little hole here, whatever comes through that hole is not going to be very impressive. Plus, I have a castle I can always retreat to, and 3 town centers perfectly placed for defending your villagers. And our blue Malay just put the pedal to the metal, got to Imperial, burst out onto the map, built himself a beautiful middle colony here. 6 archery ranges, 6 barracks, 2 more castles. How many trebs? 6 trebs on the whole. And I think our Bulgarian player was just completely overwhelmed. His initial strategy did not work. But because of these are very high-ranking players. Take a look at their Elos. When you encounter a situation like this, where somebody tries I don't want to call it a rush strategy necessarily, just because your opponent's behind walls and it was done in Castle Age. So whatever you want to call the strategy, call it rush if you want. The Krepos strategy, I've seen many games where a player tries that strategy, fails, and then just GGs because they know they're not going to catch up. HGB decided to do the exact opposite. He built 20-something cavalry, went on a little hunting expedition of his own, somehow managed to get into the base. Like I said, I'm going to put a picture-in-picture just to see exactly how he did. So by the time you're hearing me say these words, all of us will know exactly how HGB got into Darknoob's base. But overall, he could not handle the mass, the swarm, the Karambits of Darknoob, and Darknoob takes the W, and GG to both players. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips and make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so that you're notified of my latest uploads.